Hi YouTube, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can find us on the web, caltoncutlery.com. This is the second video. The first one I showed you the new meat locker. Like I said, I'm used to working up meat inside the garage. Well, the garage is mostly my shop now, and so this season especially I needed to be able to get everything out of the shop, so I didn't have to tie the shop up with hunting activities. Now, never mind my yard, it's a mess. We've been, I moved the shed, tore down the deck, we're going to put in a retaining wall over here, and so everything's just, it's a mess, but it's getting there. Anyways, my meat locker, it only has 6.5 foot tall ceilings, so I'm not going to be able to skin or quarter anything up inside the meat locker. It's just for storage. So what I needed was a place to do it outside without having, that was fairly close to the meat locker. So I thought about building an A-frame. Started scrounging up some parts for that, got on YouTube, started looking for some designs, and there was a search and rescue video. The guys were showing out how to do a tripod setup for pulling somebody back up the face of a cliff, I think. And they made it look pretty easy. I got to thinking about it and I thought, well, anything I'm going to be bringing back has probably already been on my game cart. My game cart, even the new one I built, I designed it to only carry up to about 300 pounds. So really I just needed something that would take up to a 300-pound animal high enough in the air so that I can skin it, cut it into quarters to get into the locker, all that kind of stuff. So this one right here, it's cost me, I think these 2x4s were $6 or $7 a piece. And I ended up buying a coil of rope at the top, 3/4 inch poly rope. And I think it was like $13, $14, something like that. And then had some other poly rope just hanging in the shop to use to keep the legs from spreading apart. You can look up the how-to on the internet or on YouTube. They probably do a better job of explaining how to lash that. But basically you do a figure 8 in between each of the studs when they're just laying flat together, and then do a couple of coils around the inside to tighten up the centers of your lashings, and then tie it off. The strap that I've got that my block and tackle's hanging off of, that's a seat belt that I ripped out of an old car at the salvage yard. I did get pressure treated lumber, because this is going to be, it's just going to stay outside. And then this rope right here just runs around to keep the legs from spreading apart. It seems pretty sturdy. Like I said, I haven't hung anything on it yet. But last year the elk calves that we brought out weighed about 200 pounds per half, and I weigh about 215, 220ish or so, and the gambrel seems to hold me pretty good, and it seems pretty steady. So I think it'll probably work out. Of course, now I get to go back on the video and see how much the frame was shaking while I was up there moving around. If it looks like it shakes too much, I can probably spread the legs out just a little bit more, or if I have to, put a cross member on two sides, to stiffen it up some, or maybe even do it up at the top, something like that. But this, take my gambrel, or take my block and tackle and the gambrel off, and then take this rope, this poly rope, it doesn't do very well outside, and then fold the legs together and then store it over with the kayaks until next season. but it sure seemed like an awful lot cheaper way to go than to build a dedicated A-frame. Plus the legs on this are, you can see it's on a hill right now, they're adjustable. So, you know, you can, if you really had to, you could lash one of those poles up higher than the rest of them, and that could steady it out. But with 3 legs, it kind of self-stabilizes out on, you know, uneven terrain, which is I think is a good thing. And you know, heck, for 50 bucks, maybe I might have 50 bucks into it. I think it's a heck of a solution. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.